Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sounds Good to Me. This is a continuing transcontinental conversation with Yee Ley Lau in New Zealand. And today we're very, very honored to have the lovely and gifted Nasiri are you in Boulder?
No, I'm in Littleton, Colorado.
Littleton, Colorado. So not too far from me, a couple of hours by plane from me here in Las Vegas. And my name is Karen Jones, and we are, and my website is heartsthatsing.com. On Facebook, it's Sound Illuminations. You can find me on either of those. We're going to start with the social media, so we'll get that out of the way. And Yee Ley, would you like to tell us about you?
Sure. As Karen said, I'm in New Zealand, sound and energy healer, and my website is www.yeeleylau.com, which is YEELEYLAU.com. Facebook is Light Your Life. So that's me.
All right, and Nasiri?
Well, I have a couple. So my sound healing, so I'm a sound healer or sound therapist.
Extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire. I've actually, among other things, been doing it for a long, long time. So my website is soundslikehealth.com, and that is also my Facebook page, Sounds Like Health. I'm also the managing director of the Sound Healers Association, and that website is soundhealersassociation.org, and that Facebook page is Sound Healers Association, and that private group is Sound Healers Association. And if you haven't joined, please join. There it is. No, seriously, we got lots of really exciting things coming. We're coordinating World Sound Healing Day, February 14th now. Last year we had like 60 sites, so we'd like to I'd love to have 100 this year. So you'll see a lot of promotional stuff coming from me over the next week or two, actually, or 4.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful. I'm getting messages personally on my phone. So obviously, a lot of people don't know to go to to Sound Illuminations, and that's where you can find the event, and you'll see Sounds Good to Me. And from there, you can just phone in, or you can go directly to the Zoom, and then you don't have to be seen. You can choose not to be seen, which is probably better. Yes, you were saying, dear. You wanted to say something?
No, me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, like I said, I've been talking with Jonathan and Andy Goldman, and we'll be doing several promotions on the Sound Healers Association website. Actually, there'll be a discount for the new year up until World Sound Healing Day. So that's actually what I was working on right when the call came on.
What's the specific date of Sound Healing Day? Is that
February 14th? And yes, to share the love with the planet.
Yes, I'm gonna promote that big time.
Oh, please do, Karen.
And as many Facebook Lives you can do, because Facebook loves for you to go live. This is something that I've learned with all of the Facebook pages that I have as well, is that when I go live, there's like so many more views than just putting a video up.
Oh, great. I'll do that on the Sound Healers on both pages, actually.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Awesome. So February 14th.
Yes.
Remember to join in with toning. For those of you who don't know what toning is, it's using your beautiful sound to meditate, to create sound, to change your life, literally. That's what sound meditation does for me. And I'm sure we're so blessed and honored to have Nasiri with us, because she's our teacher. We met her officially at the Sound Healers Intensive with Jonathan Goldman in the summer of 2016. So we're very, very, very happy that she's here because we can literally, utilize her, get her brain, get her to give us more information as we explore more and more about sound, which is really, really, really cool. So Nasiri, I advise you to get a session with her if you are wanting to experience something unique and plug into her intuitive abilities. She's amazing. She's amazing.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
Absolutely.
We had fun.
Yes. It
Definitely had fun.
Opened my world. All right. So today we're talking, our subject is tune in. We just arbitrarily choose topics, mostly because there's so many topics to choose from. You can't just choose one because sound is huge, because we're talking about vibration, and vibration carries information, and everything is vibration. So in theory, everything has sound, right? So when you tune in, we like to say, what is it, Yee Ley? Tune in, tune up, and what was it? What's the other one? Tap in, tune in, and turn on. Is that an Abraham thing? Tap in.
I can't remember now, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah, sounds good, right?
Yeah, that one. It's really
I love it because I always say tune up.
Tune up, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's on my sound sessions. Group sessions is tune up. Come for a tune up.
Come for a tune up. I mean, we tune up our cars. We even our computers get tune ups.
Exactly.
How they update and retune, and what do people do? They don't do nearly enough.
Not nearly enough. They suffer.
Right.
They're tuning out, so they're tuning in.
Exactly.
Tune out. Right. Exactly.
So it's like you have to tune in to into yourself.
Yeah. What does that look like?
Right.
What does that mean?
Right. Yeah. What does that look like? What would it be like? What would tuning in for you be? So if a person, I like to think of it this way: everybody has their own internal melody, right? Everybody vibrates at their own frequency. So basically, what you're doing is you're tuning into your own frequency, so that you can connect to everything that you are and everything that is you and that you're connected to, right?
Yeah, interesting. When you're saying that about tuning, something that came to mind into my awareness when I was spending time at the forest near Tomato Peak. There's some redwoods, and I recorded some interesting sounds in the forest, and I was just sharing that with a few people, and one person said, did you know that, maybe perhaps it's like AM radio waves? And
right.
We just talked about principle, because I used to work in broadcasting. So when something, a broadcaster broadcasts a signal, it actually hangs around like almost forever. So one can tune into that signal. So when you have a receiver and you tune into that signal, you can hear it, you can kind of work out what it is. And it's like, well, what if we're doing that? We're always constantly broadcasting this signal, ready for whoever to tune in and pick that up. So it's almost this like everything exists, or everything is created, and it just sits in our atmosphere, in our world and reality, and we're just choosing to tune in or not to these different frequencies that are out there. And it's like, wow, what else can we tune into? What can we choose to, where can we choose to operate in?
Right. Within, in search, in finding those frequencies, even being receptive to frequencies and broadcasting frequencies.
Yeah.
We're constantly doing both, right?
Yeah.
So when you're toning, and that's why usually before I start a toning session, I'll always ask, so what would you like to create? What is it that you're asking for? Are you asking for better health? Are you asking for a relationship? Are you asking for better food in your life, I don't know, whatever it may be. What is it that you're asking for, so that before you even begin, you're sending out a message, almost like a Morse code in vibration through the sound that's coming from through your body to the universe, who has extremely large ears, I like to think of. And they're connecting to you to like, oh, what is that? Oh, okay, we can help you with that. We can help you with whatever you're asking for. But if you don't ask, number one, because if you don't ask, you don't receive, right? Ask and you shall receive. I really believe that to be true. And sound is like this huge amplifier. It's this huge communication system. It's a translation system, because it doesn't matter what language you speak. All of us have the ability to create sound. And how amazing is that? I mean, you can go anywhere in the world and have a toning meditation, right?
Absolutely.
So it's
Very true.
Yeah,
I know. I love the way you're talking about that, because I believe that everything vibrates at a certain frequency or resonates. Every organ in your body, your blood, everything has a resonant frequency to it, but so doesn't the planet and the universe. And I mean, just sit outside under a starry sky and tell me you cannot feel the sound of the cosmos resonating with you, because you will. I mean, as long as you're open to it. I mean, I think we all know too that you can easily become unconscious to it. You can get so caught up in your stuff, your life, stress, whatever's happening in your world, that you forget to take that moment of stillness to enter into the sound and frequency of yourself and that around you.
absolutely.
That's huge. I know it's one of the things. I just saw this young girl yesterday, and she was walking around just singing, humming and singing to herself. And she was 10 years old. And I said to her, do you know about humming? And she looked at me like I was crazy. And I started to tell her that it affects the vibration and how your organs vibrate inside your body, and your lungs and your heart, even your skin, and how that vibrates on you, and it all makes you feel good, doesn't it? And she was like, it does, that's why I do it. So here she was 10 years old, just doing it because she was happy. And I asked her, when you're unhappy, do you do that to feel happy? And she said, I do.
Nice.
And I was like, right there, out of the mouths of babes, you know?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so simple, and everyone's got that, like we've learned on the thing, we all have an inbuilt instrument ready to go.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a gift. And we've all been given this amazing gift. And we use it when we were kids. It was just natural for us to make sounds like blah, 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 and whatever you did. I mean, I love watching kids, and I'm like attracted to them. If I see a kid and they're making sounds, I'm like, I start copying them, because it's like, where are they? Because they're definitely in a place that's much lighter than what's going on usually in the environment around us, right?
That's so true.
Such a gift, and yet we haven't been taught. It's not something that you learn. It's natural, but yet because judgments come in and fitting in comes in, and a lot of people just, I mean, in ancient times it was normal to gather together and make sound. When we didn't have television, when we didn't have radio, people would gather around the piano. They'd have instruments. You had families that sang together during the holidays. I didn't sing at this holiday. I mean, I had a lot of Christmas music playing, but I didn't.
I'm like, you didn't sing?
I mean, I sang.
It's a holiday.
What?
I sang, but I mean,
okay.
I sang with my students, and I got my students to sing some music, some Christmas songs, and then I would just like start singing something, because I think that Christmas songs are amazing, because they lift. They're designed that way. I mean, I think that they were even channeled to come through and bring that upliftment.
Upliftment, yeah.
Because
I agree. I really enjoyed I was not for the first time. Yeah, for the first time, it's actually having song at Christmas Day, and there's just just that, like you said, a gathering of community and something that everyone can sing along to, or just hum along to if they don't know the words, or just make the words up, and it's nothing serious, and it's just so uplifting. It's just a real joy to be in that community of voice. And yeah.
So simple.
That's one of the things I love too. When I was driving in my truck, and I have horrible road rage, and I really do. I own it, and I try, and a lot of times I'll listen to jazz because it helps calm me down. And I, over the last week, would put on the station that started playing Christmas music back in Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So it kind of gets old, but I didn't listen to it until like last week, and I turned it on, and it was every time that I was in the car and I turned it on, it was the kind of music I love, like chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
with that kind of, and I just crank it up and sing along, and I didn't have any road rage.
Right.
So, you know, that was one thing that I just really, really enjoyed, that kind of music this time of year.
Right.
Because it's not like you sing it in March or hear it in April.
Right. And every once in a while, I would do that. I would plug into like in the summer, like in the heat of summer, I would pop on like a Jingle Bells or something.
Yeah. Christmas in July.
Exactly.
That's just pretty much over here in New Zealand. That's what it feels like, Christmas in July. It's like it should be cold. It's warm.
Yeah. Because we're from England, of course, and then anyone in this part of the world is like looking for the cold. Right?
Okay, so this morning it was 7 degrees at my house. It was, trust me. I'm going out the door saying nobody should have to go anywhere.
That's a good point.
But it went up to 50, over 50 too. So.
Oh.
Right. Yeah, I went to the East Coast to celebrate my uncle's birthday, and it snowed. It was beautiful. It snowed for the first day, and then it was just this winter wonderland. And I'm like, thank you. It's a nice visit. Now I can leave and go back to the desert.
Right? Yeah, you didn't have to stay with all that snow.
Right. But you know, the beauty of snow, though, is that it creates this lovely cushioning, this lull. It creates the quiet, this lovely silence. And in that silence, is such a beautiful sound. You know?
Yes, it's the sound of snowflakes falling.
Right?
It actually has a sound. A lot of people are like, what are you talking about? It doesn't have a sound. It does have a sound.
Right. Yeah. And that tuning in, that sound actually is a tuning in, because when you're in nature and you're allowing the sounds around you to just be, you'll hear the birds, because most of the times we tune stuff out. We're like, oh, I'm going to focus here because this is where my life is. But these sounds are happening all the time. And when you take the moment to just quiet, you start to hear it. Whereas before you don't hear it. I tell my 4-year-old that I teach, I'm like, okay, so imagine you have 2 windows on each ear, and we're going to open your windows so you can hear all the sounds coming through. And it's like it's so childish, but yet all of us should.
Oh, interesting. So is that question we raised before about how does one tune into self? Is it really tuning into all there is and being an allowance of that?
There you go. Yes.
So what does tuning into self really mean?
Right. And what would that look like for you? What would it be like if you really tuned into yourself? Because if you really listened to yourself, to your sound, then you'd probably get a lot more clarity instead of buying everybody else's point of view or plugging into other people's projections and decisions about what you're supposed to choose and how you're supposed to be. right? So
Great
tuning,
point.
yeah. So tuning in is tuning in is the beginning of your tune up.
I would agree 100% because I mean, it's how I started working with elementals, nature elementals, is by tuning in, not just with sound, but with sight as well. And listening to, a perfect example is listening to a breeze rustling through the trees or through tall grass, or and then if you actually ask it questions, it will answer you
Nice.
by the strength of a breeze. I mean, and people think I'm nuts until I show them, and then they're like, oh my God. It really works. So I mean, by that tuning in or tuning up, you actually access other realms of sound and other beings who are sounding in those realms.
And that brings me to the question that I wanted to ask. I'm so glad you're here because I don't know what that sound is. Do you guys hear that? Anyway, yeah,
Someone else is tuning in. Yeah.
Yeah, they're tuning in, like saying hello, hi.
Yeah.
So the question that I had come up is: so is sound? If we didn't have our ears that translate sound so that we can hear them, would there be sound?
It's a great question. I would say yes, because I think that sound then translates to feeling, touch. You know, it comes in another sense. Because if you think that sound is waves, you're going to still have vibration and frequency in the waves, even if you don't have the hearing of a tone or a specific sound. You're still going to feel the waves and the vibration and the frequency of the sound. So I would say yes, you're still going to hear a sound.
Yes. And you, Yee Ley, what do you think?
I was just thinking, how do you define sound? And does sound exist, but only if there's a carrier medium? So what's the carrier medium of said definition? I would like to say yes, it exists, and then everything exists, and then until we make it so. That one.
Right. Yeah. It's like if when you think, you're not hearing a sound when you think, but you hear sound in your head.
Well, it depends if you've got a voice in your head or not, doesn't it? I mean, so many people have that voice, or several in their head. So it's not a thought, it actually is a sound thought.
Well, that'd be a great name for a website, soundthoughts.com. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So, like, I noticed that it's really funny because I don't have a mouth in my head. So, like, when I'm doing repetitious stuff to like change my reality, because we all know that to change certain habits, sometimes you have to like repeat affirmations if you'd like, or repeat other verbal processing. I like to use access consciousness. And in repeating this stuff in your head, you're starting to change the synapses in your brain and basically creating new habits, right? So a lot of times what's really funny is when I start to think about repeating something, I repeat it as if I'm speaking it. And then I remember, oh, I'm not speaking. I can do that faster. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you're looking for agreement.
Aren't we like walking sound waves?
Yes.
Sound expressions.
Yes.
So that's pretty amazing.
Right. Like, well, you walk into a room, your sound is right before you. Yeah.
And if you consider that, like Greg is it Greg Braden that talks about, you know, the darkness in between. So the space, that space has a frequency and a sound and a vibration all of its own. So if we're moving into a space, even an empty room, aren't we creating sound by moving and parting the frequency and vibration that was there before we showed up?
Absolutely.
Like the ripple in the water. To me, it's like that, and not just in a room, but outside or anywhere.
Anywhere you go, right? Because if you're bringing your vibration with you, and that sound, it's like it's right in front of you. It's all around you. So So it's pretty cool when you're like in a room together, even right now with the three of us connecting, and our invisible friend Ellen Bone here, who and we're all connecting. Our fields are connecting. Our vibrations are connecting, and that's a pretty cool thing. And perhaps we're even connecting with the people who are going to see this who weren't able to make the call, which also kind of like blows your mind. Like, what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which connects us to the greater whole. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I was like, what can we co-create from this space? What else do you want to play with in terms of tuning in for those that are tuning in?
Right. So I invite you all to remember your ask. What is it you're asking for? Try to stick to one thing at a time, perhaps, or maybe two or three. It's up to you, wherever your energy's going. And we can do like a little toning with you if you'd like to join us. We tried to do it before. The sound can get a little crazy, but we're going to do it anyway because it's the energy,
of course.
right? Should I bring out a bowl and play a bowl, or should we just make sound?
What kind of bowl?
I just have a Tibetan singing bowl.
A fruit bowl? No.
A fruit bowl.
Oh, so a fruit bowl, is that what you said?
A super bowl.
A 7 metal hammered Tibetan bowl?
That's the one.
Which would be very grounding. I think that's a great idea.
Right, and great before starting the new year.
Yes.
Right, so we have like like only 7 minutes left. So how about like 5 minutes worth? Does that sound like a possibility for us all?
Yeah.
Sure.
So you can choose any sound, any vowel sound that you'd like. How's that? Or if you'd like to do Om, you can do Om. If you'd like to do Sophia, if you'd like to do Gerald, whatever.
And you can change if you want.
Exactly. And with the meditation, this very short meditation, we wish you all well for this new year. May it be a year of prosperity, laughter, and joy, and adventure, and fun, and ease in your shifts and changes.
And health.
And you're knowing that you are strength, that you are powerful beyond measure, and you can do anything. All right. So whenever you're ready, ladies, I'll just play the bowl. Yeah. Thank you. That was magical. Thank you, Nasiri. Thank you, Yee Ley.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Nasira.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Join us again.
It's so nice to see the both of you. And thank you, Ellen Bone. We see your name even if we don't see your face.
We will connect again next time on Sounds Good to Me. All sounds so good to me. Thank you. That was beautiful. And we'll see. Hopefully, Nasiri will join us again. Yee Ley. And
yeah, for sure, come play.
yeah, and Yee Ley is supposed to be starting some of her own interviews, private interviews as well, I believe. So perhaps she'll be in touch with you soon. And otherwise, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, you too.